organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Here's what's just ahead tonight on Daily Iowan TV. Sink or swim. Find out what small bookstores are doing to keep businesses afloat next.
And in sports, find out about one Iowa wrestler that is facing assault charges.
All that and more coming up next.
This is Daily Iowan TV.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Tanner Sigworth.
And I'm Mary Caldwell. We begin tonight with the news from the University of Iowa Department of Public Safety. Another report of sexual assault was received yesterday. The report stated that a student was who was sexually assaulted at an off-campus fraternity house. This is the 7th report of sexual assault for the 2014-2015 school year.
And on the heels of the 7th campus sexual assault of the school year, UI President Sally Mason announced today that 3 new positions will be created to combat sexual assault. The new positions will begin work on November 1st at the Women's Resource and Action Center, as well as the Rape Victim Advocacy Program. The goal of these positions is to create partnerships with campus organizations, train students to be peer leaders, and educate faculty who want to incorporate prevention and education into their curriculum.
One of Iowa Governor Terry Branstad's former commissioners is filing a lawsuit against him. Christopher Godfrey is filing a lawsuit for what he calls Governor administration's heavy-handed and illegal attempts to force his resignation. The lawsuit alleges discrimination based on sexual orientation. They filed affidavits stating this last week. Godfrey's lawyer says he believes that Branstad's lawyer has a conflict of interest and therefore should be removed from the case.
In Washington, D.C., the Supreme Court has turned away appeals from 5 states that want to ban same-sex marriage. The court's decision will immediately end delays on marriage in Indiana, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Virginia, and Utah. The ruling has the potential to legalize same-sex marriage in 30 states.
Now we'll take you over to the Penacrest where Selena Carr is standing by to tell us about the upcoming rally against debt. Selena, tell us what's happening.
Mary and Tanner, I'm here on the Penacrest where in just a few weeks students will be rallying against comments made by UI President Sally Mason on student debt last November. In a Q&A session with the Daily Iowan, she used the term lifestyle debt, which she defines as what you really need to go to college versus what you feel you want to be able to go to college. I spoke with students on how they felt about this comment from Sally Mason.
Kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, she is the president of the school, and it's like I do know people that take out loans just so they can have extra pocket money. So it's just that matter of like, personally for you, like, do you really need those extra loans or not?
I think it's kind of accurate. I mean, a lot of students spend a lot of pointless money on stuff, that they don't really need for their schooling.
The city rally against student debt will be on October 22nd at noon on the Penacrest. This falls on the same week as the Board of Regents meeting, which will decide any changes in tuition prices. Organizers of the event hope to gain support from the board and President Mason to prevent any hikes in tuition. Currently, according to the National Project for Student Debt, debt for UI students averages $29,000. Reporting here at the Penacrest, Selena Carr, Daily Iowan TV.
Did you know that Iowa City is one of just 7 cities of literature in the world? Well, this weekend, area book lovers flocked to the 6th annual Iowa City Book Festival. The celebration of books, reading, and writing brought in more than 50 authors who came to read and discuss their latest work. With over 50 events over the 4 days, the festival's directors say it was one of the best ones yet.
It was bigger and better than what we've done in the past. We had more big name authors. We had, I think, greater attendance throughout the course of the weekend. We're continuing to evolve what it is that we can do here in Iowa City, and I hope that we'll be able to build on this with further success.
Some of the most notable authors that attended this year were James Elroy, Marilyn Robson, and Jane Smiley.
Nowadays, many students prefer to buy their books online on sites like Amazon or Chegg. So how do small bookstores like Prairie Light survive? Daily Iowan TV's Sue N. Wang has the story.
Local business always competes with online shops, especially local bookstores. With the appearance of companies like Amazon and eBay, there's an influence on the local bookstore business.
It used to be that bookstores were the only place to find books, and now there are many other ways.
I just scroll the mouse to look for the specific books that I want to buy, and it will be delivered to my home.
When talking about the size of the customers with the appearance of online bookstore,
it has decreased, and so we just are trying to make adjustments all the time to, we're selling other things. We have a gift shop over there where we have artwork and consignment items from artists in town. People think about where they're going to buy books based on what books cost. We're just going to have a small used book section, and so people should always come up and browse our used books too, because it's fun to find things that are out of print or that cost less.
The coffee shop, which is used to be a Java house, attracts a lot of people come to study and relax.
So we have a lot of people that come to drink coffee and maybe drink more coffee than they buy books. But we also have a big children's book section downstairs, so people come here all the time to look for books for their children or for gifts for other children.
斯文王 Daily Iowan TV.
This weekend was an excellent weekend to get out and go picking apples or pick the perfect pumpkin. The beginning of October is usually the end of prime apple season, so many University of Iowa students took advantage. But October means pumpkins, so plenty of people headed out to Wilson's to find the best one. Wilson's will close for the season at the end of the month, so be sure to head out there soon.
Mary, it's been a while since I've been out picking pumpkins and doing some old-fashioned pumpkin carving.
Yeah, I know. I haven't done that since I was a kid. It seems like it's getting a little bit chilly for that, though.
Yeah, that's right. Let's toss it over to Katie Sextro, who's in the weather studio, to see what the rest of the week is going to be like. Katie?
As we move into the second day of homecoming week, we're going to see some gorgeous weather. You might want a light jacket tomorrow morning because temperatures will be around 50 degrees. As the day progresses, we'll see sunny skies and temperatures will warm up to the low 60s. The evening hours should bring mid-50s and partly cloudy skies. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, Wednesday also looks beautiful with temps in the mid to upper 60s, clear skies, and little chance of rain. Thursday and Friday will feel a bit cooler with temps in the upper 50s and low 40s in the evenings. There is also a small chance of rain both days. But don't worry, because there are great temperatures in store for the big Hawkeye homecoming football game. Highs around 60, clear skies, and little to no chance for rain. Perfect weather for cheering on the Hawks. To end the weekend, we'll see low 60s on Sunday and possible showers. That's all I've got for weather tonight. Tanner and Mary, back to you at the desk.
Well, now we'll toss things over to Whitney Blakemore, who's standing by at the sports studio. Whitney?
Thanks, guys. Lots of action in this Monday's AP poll as several undefeated football teams go down, and our Whip Around crew also standing by with an update on how some Iowa teams performed over the weekend. But first, we bring you news of one Iowa wrestler that was arrested over the weekend. Police arrested Jeremy Failer of the Iowa wrestling team early Saturday morning in connection with an assault that occurred on September 13th. Failer was working as a bouncer for the downtown Iowa City Bar DC's when he was accused of punching a man twice while throwing him out. The redshirt senior denies hitting the victim, who was treated for a broken nose. Failer was charged with assault causing bodily injury and was released later that day after paying a $2,500 bond. Iowa men's basketball kicked off their 2014-2015 season today with their first official practice. The team also announced today on Twitter that another player is joining the squad, freshman Charlie Rose. Rose joins the team as a walk-on, which means he will be playing without a scholarship. The Elmhurst, Illinois native averaged 10 points and 6 rebounds as a senior in high school. While Iowa football fans may have been missing their Hawks during the bye week, they were at no shortage for exciting games to tune into. 7 undefeated teams within the AP's top 25 poll all lost over the weekend, including 3 teams in the top 5. All of these losses led to major changes in this week's AP poll, as 2 teams from Mississippi are now ranked in the top 5 for the first time in NCAA history. Only 3 Big Ten teams remain in the top 25. Michigan State bumped up to number 8 after an impressive 27-22 win over Nebraska that is now ranked at 21st. Ohio State stayed on pace at number 15 after a 52-24 victory over Maryland. Playing spoiler in the Big Ten this week were the Northwestern Wildcats as they knocked off Wisconsin 20-14, which was enough to drop the Badgers out of the top 25. The Hawks themselves have yet to crack the AP poll. I'll now toss things out to our Whip Around crew as they'll fill us in on how field hockey, soccer, and volleyball performed this weekend. Ladies, take it away.
Welcome back to our Monday Evening Whip Around. I'm Taylor Brooks here at the University of Iowa Soccer Complex, where the team packed their bags and headed off to Michigan this past weekend. On Thursday, the team started off their trip with a win against Michigan State 1-0. On Sunday, they went to the Michigan Wolverines and suffered a loss 4-2. The ladies continued their Big Ten trek at Wisconsin this Wednesday. Now I'll toss it over to Laura Belanda, who has the update on volleyball. Laura?
This is Laura Belanda here at Carver Hawkeye Arena, where the University of Iowa women's volleyball team fell to national champions Penn State this past Saturday. Coach Bon Szymanski said that the Hawkeyes seemed a little timid and need to work on showing the power when they're facing national championship caliber teams. The team will face University of Michigan and Ann Arbor this Friday, October 10th, trying to get their first Big Ten win of the season. Now I'll toss it over to Taylor Mathis with field hockey.
Thanks, Laura. I'm Taylor Mathis here at Grant Field, where yesterday the number 7 Hawkeyes fell to number 11 Northwestern in a 3-1 loss. The Hawkeyes' lone goal was scored by junior Natalie Cafone in the 12th minute against the Wildcats' impressive defense. Although the team's Big Ten record now falls to 3-1, the team will have a chance to redeem themselves here at Grant Field this Friday against Michigan. Now, we're done for our Monday night whip around, and we'll toss it back to you in the studio.
Thanks for that. Continuing our volleyball coverage, we are now joined by Daily Iowan volleyball beat reporter Kyle Mann. Thanks for joining us, Kyle. The team is currently 8-7 overall, but 0-4 against Big Ten teams, including being swept in all those games. Is it too early to gauge where this team is at?
I think it is a little too early in the season to have an accurate evaluation of the team. And I think Coach Szymanski would agree with that. They have dropped 5 in a row now, but they did start the season 8-2, and it actually just won a tournament right before the skid started. So Coach Szymanski is making some adjustments both in the lineup and in the game plan to try to see what lineup's going to work for him moving forward.
Perfect. And there was a lot of hope and excitement surrounding this team in the beginning of the season under new head coach Bon Szymanski. Do you still get that feeling after losing or being in that losing rut currently they're stuck in?
Yeah, Szymanski did a great job coming in and bringing some excitement to the program, not only with the players but with the fans as well. Over 2,600 people came to the home opener, which is actually good for 4th largest crowd of all time. And so even though they've lost 5 in a row now, not to say that they expected to lose those games, but they knew they were having a rough patch to begin conference play with number 8 Nebraska and then number 3 Penn State. So, the team is still eager to show what they're improving on and show that they can play well moving forward.
And now the team has 2 back-to-back road games coming up against Michigan and Michigan State. What do they have to do to turn things around?
Well, the team's been telling me the last couple weeks that they're not so pleased with their passing game, and most specifically their serve-receive game. They want their first contact to be a little more crisp than it has been, and so they'll be able to get into their quick, aggressive offense.
All right, well, thank you so much. It will definitely be interesting to see how they do this weekend. And once again, thanks for joining us, Kyle. And that's all that will do it for me here in the sports studio. In tomorrow's program, Kirk Ferentz and squad return after a bye week to speak with the media as Iowa prepares to take on Indiana at home this Saturday. And we will take a look at how the Iowa cheerleading squad expands their practice team. Mary, Tanner, back to you at the desk.
Only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek in tomorrow's pages of the Daily Iowan. People in Iowa are going to Ferguson, Missouri for a weekend of resistance. Read all about Chris Higgins' story tomorrow.
And Johnson County is looking at bringing an alternative way of learning to the area. Caitlin DeWolf has the story.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out tomorrow.
Or anytime online at dailyiowan.tv.com. I'm Mary Caldwell.
And I'm Tanner Sigworth. From us here at Daily Iowan TV to the rest of Hawkeye Nation.
Thank you and good night.
Iowa SJMC.